I just received 3 new trees from Wilson Brothers Nursery, online nursery, wilsonbrothers.com, I think maybe the name, but just search for it. And this first one here is the Japanese Plum Yew in tree form, cephalotaxus harringtonia is the Latin name. And you see this species in lows in kind of a low creeping form, almost like a ground cover. That's not what this is. This is the tree. Sometimes you may even see the narrow species, looks like a bush. Not really species, cultivar, I should say. All the same species. So the narrow cultivar you may see at garden centers as a bush form. It's very narrow and columnar. That's not what this is either. This is the full-size tree version. And the foliage looks pretty good, pretty prehistoric looking. Somewhat reminiscent of a coast redwood, but longer needles. I'm going to put that in a partly shady spot, and it should survive in Zone 7. Next, also from Wilson Brothers, is the Enoki Cypress, another Japanese species. Chamaecyparis obtusa is the Latin name, and this is the southern lace cultivar, so it's going to be more vertical in growth, more upright, more tree form for this one as well. Kind of weird that there's no branching on this one side. I don't know if it was growing up against something, but that'll be corrected over the years. And the last one is this one. Almost looks like a clump of grass, but it's really a longleaf pine. And if you look inside, you can see that it's started to go vertical. You can search online and read the whole story about how longleaf pine grows, but essentially it stays in grass stage for some number of years and eventually starts to go vertical. It looks like this one has started to go vertical from what I can tell. I don't know, this is the first one I've ever had. So I'm going to try to get that one in the ground first so it can put down its long taproot and see if maybe it starts to look like a real tree next year. But those are the 3 I got from Wilson Brothers, and I'll show you the packaging on how these came in. Okay, here's a close look at the packaging, and you can see there were actually 2 trees in this long box, kind of facing each other. The pot was down here, and there was this big, pretty sturdy cardboard that's stapled to the side, holding them in place, and they were packed with tape and paper around the top to keep most of the dirt from coming out. Did a pretty good job on this one. Here's the other one, just have the paper thrown in there. But pretty good packaging. I'm probably most excited about the Japanese Plum Yew, just because I want to see what it does, and it looks the coolest, looks the most prehistoric. But the Enoki Cypress I have high hopes for. The only possible concern will be Phomopsis tip blight, but we'll see if this variety could do better. It's a little faster growing, a little more open branching structure, which would be good for airflow. And the interesting thing I just noticed, didn't know this, there's some white coloration on the bottom of the foliage, so that could be a pretty good contrasting color when it's blowing in the wind. So we'll see what happens with this one. Wilson Brothers garden was pretty good, online garden. First time I ordered from there, and I would have to say I'm satisfied. And they had some other species that I might be interested in the future, so I would rate them pretty well for online nursery.